Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop us a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys, and it goes a massive way to help the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 68 of Imperium magazine, and we have our third and final Necron Kinetic Wraith. Now, all three of these have been different moulds and different kind of poses, so they all look ever so slightly different while retaining a lot of similarities. I quite like them, I'm not going to lie to you. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting going with this guy and having him join the other two that still aren't painted, in all honesty. But, you know, I quite like them, really good fun, and it's a little bit of something different as well, so not too bad. First, we're going to move off into the magazine though. Of course, obviously, we're going to be greeted by a new theatre of war. This is Kjalmar's Skull, and it is a dead planet as well. So, the war for the Warhammer system is now fully concentrated upon the dead world known as Kjalmar's Skull. Here in baking heat and beset by radioactive storms, the Imperium and their Necron foes vie for supremacy in the shadow of obsidian obelisks and jagged mountain ranges. This being a nice dead planet as well, is a world lost to time. Beneath the crust of Kjalmar's Skull lie unseen terrors. This uninhabited planet was once the tomb world of a minor Necron dynasty. However, geological disaster destroyed the slumbering Necrons, but left their structures intact. This, of course, is now all being ready to be reactivated by the Zera Khan dynasty. Obviously, because this is a tomb world, the Imperium cannot leave it alone as well, because obviously they do not like the Xenos forces and they are desperate to destroy and drive back the Necrons as well and destroy their base of operations. So pretty much every available force in the Warhammer system has been dispatched to drive these Necrons away and make sure that they cannot reactivate all of the tombs as well. So pretty good stuff and quite interesting as well. Obviously, with it being in one of the battle zones, we can actually add our own little bit to it, so including your battle record. So you can give sector names for different areas and much more, and you can have a little bit of information for you. So if you are battling, you can change how you're battling in certain planets and make it a little bit more interesting for yourself. So why not? Pretty cool stuff, and it's not too bad as well. Then we move on, we get more information about one of the other war zones within the 41st millennium, and this is all focused on the third Tyrannic War. So obviously we've found out information over the last few weeks about the first Tyrannic War and the second Tyrannic War, led by the High Fleets Behemoth and Kraken. This is High Fleet Leviathan, which entered the galaxy only a few years after the defeat of High Fleet Kraken on Icar 4. And Leviathan seems to have learned from the fates of Behemoth and Kraken, is more widespread and also the largest High Fleet to date. So, by the time the tendrils of Leviathan reached into the galaxy, several other High Fleets had been recognised as threats by the Imperium. Some were splintered remnants of Behemoth or Kraken, others were entirely separate and strangely adapted entities. Many of these lesser fleets moved to support Leviathan's assault. Leviathan's swarms were legion. Its tendrils spread so far that no corner of the galaxy was safe. Imperial forces who survived the onslaught of Leviathan reported that many psycho-organisms amidst its ranks. Those strange auras created a shadow in the warp, preventing communication between worlds. So, a bit of an interesting take on the Tyranids, and obviously giving them a psycho as well, and pushing the fact that communication was a little bit strained. Now, one of the worlds that the Leviathan did actually reach is the Blood Angels chapter planet of Baal. Here, Commander Dante called upon all the Blood Angels' successor chapters to confront the alien threat. During the bloody fighting that followed, the Great Rift tore its way across the galaxy, resulting in a three-way battle between the Scions of Sanguinius, the Tyranids, and the bloodthirsty legions of the demon prince Kar-Bandar. It was only at the arrival of Reboot Gilliman and his Indominus crusade that the Tyranids were purged from Baal and the Blood Angels saved from their destruction. So, a little bit of interesting information about how one of the one of your chapter planets from one of the major chapters of the Space Marines almost got destroyed by the Tyranids and the demons as well of Chaos. So quite interesting to read up, and a little bit something fun and a bit unique as well. And then we move on, we find out information about one of the Necron heroes. This is Trazyn the Infinite. So archivist of the Solemn Mace galleries, Trazyn the Infinite's duty is one of preservation. In the war-torn galaxy of the 41st millennium, however, such a noble pursuit requires devious cunning and a flair for violence. Trazyn possesses both qualities in abundance. So, when Trazyn goes back into battle, he does so not just simply to destroy, but also to catalogue, collect and preserve, and he is a brilliant battlefield commander, but he would argue that every war he wages is fought with loftier goals than simple conquest. However, that his desire is to acquire knows no mercy or limit, and those who stand between him and his prize are struck down by blows from his emphatic obliterator, when I can speak, a weapon that slays not only its immediate target, but also those nearby of a like mind and purpose. So a bit of a unique weapon, and sounds like pretty tough and deadly, in all honesty, I'm not going to lie to you, but really cool stuff to find out about information about him. Then we find out about information about one of the other Necron heroes. This is Imhotep, the Storm Lord. When he awoke from the Great Sleep, Imhotep was not the Pharaoh of the Sutek dynasty. However, compelled by his desire to reclaim the glorious Necron Empire of old, he has taken upon himself that mantle and borne it with confidence and skill ever since. So when Imhotep was first roused from his hibernation, he found a world gripped by madness and petty ambition. He had been roused by the royal court in the hope that as a famed Nemesis, he would bring Mandragora's civil war to a swift close. He did, but not exactly how the royal court wanted. So, disgusted by the petty squabbles of his noble kin, he rallied an army of his own and within a year has subjugated all other contenders for the throne. So, a pretty interesting character and being a bit of a tough one as well. A very unique commander as well. So, one I must admit I genuinely like, and quite interesting as well. So, pretty good stuff. And then we get a bit of a good old fiction in the shape of one of the stories about Supreme Command. So this involves the Eldari, it involves Necrons and such like. So Eldari interlopers have entered the territory of the Sutek dynasty. Risen from his slumber, the Necron overlord Nerakar musters his legions to meet the Necron's ancient foe. The foolish flesh and blood foes shall pay for their arrogance. So a story very heavily driven by the Necrons here as well. So quite interesting as well. And then, as per usual, you got your how to build guide. Obviously, it builds very much like the other Wraiths that we've had before, just with some slightly differences. Has different parts, so you can have a few extra little bits if you need to. So you can change how, like, whether you're having the them coil whips, for instance, instead of the claws on the front mandibles, and whether you're having, for instance, different versions of a head, and the weapon is generally always exactly the same in all honesty, but really good stuff and quite interesting as well at the same time. And as I say, genuinely kind of one of my favourite units from the Necron range, just because they have that kind of a bit of a unique look to them, kind of like the Spider and kind of like stuff like that. So I do like any of the Canatech kind of constructs. Then you got your paint guide. Obviously you can get pretty much the entirety of your painting finished now that we have Tesseract Glow, and yeah, I'm genuinely not sure if you could go wrong with it if you're following the paint guide. Very easy, so enjoy yourself with that one. And then we have more information about the rules and faction rules and warlord traits for the Necrons as well. So including their enduring will and how to utilise honourable combatants and much, much more. So you can have a bit of fun with that, and it adds to your game as well, especially if you're a Necron player. This is the type of stuff you can utilise as well. And then we have our battle. So 75 power, pick your sides, have a bit of fun with it. You're going to love it. A pretty good one, I must admit. I genuinely kind of like the look of this battle, so it should be good fun. And then finally, next issue, well, the next 2 issues, should I say, we have parts 1 and part 2 of Marneus Calgar and the Victrix Honor Guard. Really, really good stuff. So really, really nice minis, very, very highly detailed. I really, really like these minis, and I can't wait to get my hands on it, because I'm going to do it something slightly different from what I normally do with Space Marines, and I'm genuinely looking forward to it. So really, really good stuff. Can't wait. Coming very, very soon. I don't believe there will be an issue next week. I got a sneaking suspicion we won't see one for 2 weeks now because of Christmas and New Year, especially in the UK. So I reckon early January, so I may be a bit quiet for a couple of weeks. But as soon as I know, I'll find out next week, in all honesty. But I genuinely do think it will be delayed. But with all that said and done, thank you very, very much for watching. Hope you have a great Christmas, and I will speak to you sometime soon. Bye-bye now.